Darn. We got here too late.
Yeah, it looks like the Fumon... Wait, what's wrong with your voice?
What do you mean, small one?
Didn't you... you know what, don't worry about it. We've got bigger things to worry about.
I was hoping we could get here fast enough to stop them before the damage was done.
Well, it's not that big a deal, is it, Muscles? I mean, sure, we've got scantily clad models, but it's nothing too much we can't fix, isn't it?
I don't think you understand, my chestnut friend. Out of every regional sector, this one is one of the most important to defend.
How so? I mean, I get the Middle East sector is harder to maintain, but what makes it so special?
The MENA market is one of the most untapped locations for publishers and developers to find an audience.
MENA?
Middle East and North Africa.
Oh, that makes sense.
Indeed. The MENA market is the fastest growing at 21% compound annual growth rate, and is an unsaturated market. Big names like Ubisoft, Abu Dhabi, and other companies have seen huge success rates in the region and are specifically focusing in that region.
Fair enough. But why, though? It seems like the North African Middle East territories would seem a little volatile to be as big a success as you're describing. What's the catalyst?
The two big factors here are age demographics and technological modernization growth. For the earlier, nearly 70% of the people in the MENA region are 25 years of age or younger. That means there are many more fresh young minds who might very well be interested in more localized and domestic games in their country. For the latter, the gaming market closely follows the internet market, of which has been on the absolute rise in the MENA region.
Oh, okay, well that makes more sense. You know, that reminds me of that one game. What was it? Rappies?
You mean Rappels?
Yeah, that's the one. I heard it was the first MMO to be localized for that region. Originally from Korea, wasn't it?
Indeed, it was a great success, but it took a lot of work to make it ready for the MENA market.
Yeah, I would definitely think so. MMOs today don't exactly do the best job of putting female characters in the most protective of armors, or even just casual dress for that matter. I'm sure that was the first thing that needed changing.
It was, but it wasn't the biggest issue. I'm sure many people would assume that the female characters of the game would be required to be covered from head to toe, as is the usual misconception. But actually, said characters were just put in more tasteful and, may I say, more logically explained versions of the clothes they originally wore.
Definitely. To be frank, I don't think the game would be visually displeasing at all if the original design of the characters were the more garbed versions. In all honesty, if these women were out fighting, it would make a little more logical sense for them to have actual protection instead of exposed bosoms, thighs, and midriffs. A well-placed slice would end that battle pretty darn quick.
There's actually more to it than that as well.
Oh?
Yes. Originally the game's story involved 3 races and 3 gods. While the 3 races may not have been such an issue, the 3 gods could have easily created religious conflict within the region.
Well, sure. The Islamic faith believes that there is but one god, and the notion of a polytheism may not anger people, but it may turn them off.
Exactly. That's why they changed the 3 races and 3 gods into 3 nations and 3 kings, respectively.
You know, it's kind of funny to me. A lot of gamers I know strongly believe that a game should be good within its own conception and execution, and the original story elements shouldn't be changed. And in a way, I can kind of agree with them. Games like Okami and Persona change very little in their Western releases besides localizing the language. But at the same time, I'm realizing that it just can't work for every game. And really, it's through games like these that I can do game exchange, and get people interested in other cultures and languages through gaming examples. But at the same time, in order for a game to be successful, you really have to bear in mind the little things that can mean the difference between your game being successful and it being a complete bomb. Or, worse yet, banned. Even something as small as national borders on a map can get your game banned in a country that would net a hefty profit in game sales. And that's what it boils down to. With games becoming more and more artistic and even classified as art, it's still important to remember that video games are a business, and developers and publishers have to be mindful of what money they can make and what they can't.
Well said. I believe we have everything now. Where do you think the Fumon will strike next, Goombah?
If I know the Fumon, I would think that they would strike as big a region as they could right now. With them able to complete their task in trashing this sector, they would assume we'd be too far behind to stop them from hitting another massive sector. South America might be the next place to find them.
In that case, let's get there ASAP.